He's one of the most talked about names in the lithium space. Brian Paes-Braga, CEO of LiTHIUM-X, joins us now at the Minds and Money conference. Brian, good to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having me again.
So I was excited to have you on. I caught Robert Friedland's keynote yesterday, and I had to ask you about his thoughts. He said lithium, he didn't have really nice things to say about lithium, but basically saying that it will end in tears.
Yes. I heard that.
So he's not a fan of the sector and saying that electrical cars and batteries will not be using lithium down the road and copper's really where it's at. Yeah, what do you make of these comments?
Yeah, so I think he is right. Copper is a very, very important component of the lithium battery. There's no doubt about that. But I think what he's missing is that, and what we equipped our team with, and LiTHIUM-X in particular, is a management team that knows how to time these cycles. If you remember from our first conversation, Paul Matizik has been in the uranium space, topped out, sold it at the top, when uranium went from $10 a pound to over $100 a pound. He got into the potash game, and actually Robert Friedland was his chairman in Potash One, and he sold that company at around $1,200 a ton potash, sold for $434 million. During the last lithium boom, Paul sold his lithium company, Lithium One, and then he just sold his gold company. So I'd comment there that I think our team is aware of the potential supply glut that might come on the lithium side, but more importantly, in high level, our Chief Operating Officer, Eduardo Morales, makes it very clear. You know, he was the first one to build a battery with Sony in Japan in the mid-90s when he was with Albemarle, which was Rockwood. And he continues to tell every institutional money manager in the meetings we're having this week while we're on the road that lithium is the core component, and Mother Nature created lithium on the periodic table with certain characteristics that you can't change. And those are highly conductive and very lightweight. So we're big believers in lithium longer term.
Right, and it's interesting because you have another mining mogul backing LiTHIUM-X. You have Frank Giustra, right behind the company.
Exactly.
So give us a picture of lithium 5 years down the road. How big are the growth prospects here?
Yeah, so most of the consensus I've seen is the market tripling. So going from about 160,000 tons to just under 500,000 tons. Yep. And if you do the rough numbers of an average mine bringing on about 25,000 tons of production, you need to bring on 10 to 15 new projects. And it leaves a lot of room for independents like ours. We just want to be the biggest growth of all of those and consolidate the space.
And we're seeing more and more buzz about electrical cars, but how long do you think investors have to wait before reaping the benefits here of lithium?
I think it's near term. I think we've had a great run so far, and I think the winners in the space, there'll be a few of them, but they'll be great winners.
What are the biggest risks to the space?
I don't see many. I really don't. I mean, again, through these meetings we're having this week with institutions, the demand curve is there. If you're a believer in the demand side, we're in the right space, no question about it.
For an investor who wants to invest in lithium, are the companies the only way to go? How do you invest in the space?
It's a great point. So early on in the thesis of creating this company, absolutely, there's not too many ways to play it. There's no LME trading on it. There's an ETF that's actually owned by multiple chemical businesses, are the core components of that. And there's no real pure play way to play the space, and that's why we created this public vehicle, to give investors a pure play way to play the space with world-class management.
And last time we spoke, you mentioned you want to grow LiTHIUM-X through M&A activity.
Yes.
Have you eyed any projects that you're interested in right now?
I can't say too much, but we're always on the lookout.
All right, let's switch gears here and get your thoughts on gold. You were very bullish gold last time we spoke. How do you see this metal?
Yeah, and I think last time we spoke, it was probably still around 1,200. Now we're up into 1,300. I think it's had a good run this year. I think it might take a little bit of a breather, but with the Fed keeping interest rates idle, which I think is going to continue, I think the US dollar is going to come off a bit, and I think it'll be good for gold. Not only that, if somehow Trump gets in, I think it's going to be a very volatile world, and with that, gold will reap the benefits.
Now, are you invested in gold?
Yeah, heavily.
Okay, so do you like owning physical, or do you like the mining stocks?
I think a little bit of everything.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and best of luck, Brian.
Thank you so much
for having you on the show. And thanks for watching our coverage here for the Minds and Money conference in Toronto. We'll have more for you, so be sure to stay tuned to Kitco.com. Brian?